welcome back after a long break. I was really caught up, but finally we're back with a new video, which is about the basic structure of the eyeball. Now, our eye consists of three layers. One is the outermost, which is the protective layer. Then you have the middle, which is the nutritive or the vascular layer, and then you have the innermost sensory layer. Now, your outermost protective layer, it comprises of sclera and cornea. Now, sclera covers the posterior 4 by 5th of your eyeball, and cornea covers the interior 1 by 5th of your eyeball. Now, let's look at it in this diagram that I've drawn. In black, I've drawn the outermost layer. So, the posterior 4 by 5th is your sclera, and then interior 1 by 5th is the cornea. Now, a lot of people might get confused between sclera and cornea. So sclera is the white region that we should be clear about, that it's the white region. And cornea is the transparent part and it covers this area interiorly, the interior 1 by 5th. Since we cannot say it, that's the reason people are confused, but it's there. It's a very thin, transparent layer and it comprises the outermost layer. Sclera, whereas it completes the entire circle around the eyeball. In this cross-sectional view, you can see clearly and better that in front you have cornea, that's the transparent region, it's bulging out because of the aqueous humor, and then posteriorly you have the sclera, which covers the entire posterior region of your eyeball. Here I've also written down some statements about it. Cornea is the eye's clear, transparent front part and it helps to focus the light. Its function is to focus the light. Whereas sclera is opaque, white, fibrous outer layer. It is there for providing structural support and for providing protection. Now, cornea has regularly layered parallel fibers. That's the reason it is able to allow the light to pass through. Whereas sclera has randomly arranged irregular fibers. This is why it appears opaque and it appears white in color. So that's the difference between sclera and cornea, and it comprises of your outermost protective layer. Then you have the middle layer, which is the nutritive or the vascular layer. Now, as this name already suggests, vascular, it has the blood supply in it. Hence, the blood, it brings the nutrients and it provides the entire nutrition to your eyeball. It comprises of choroid, ciliary body, and iris. Now, in this diagram, you can see the red region is your middle layer, the nutritive or vascular layer. It has choroid. Then anteriorly, it has a ciliary body, which is the bulged out triangular part. And then it continues as iris. So this is your middle nutritive or vascular layer, choroid, ciliary body, and then iris. Then comes your innermost sensory layer, which is the retina. Now, retina has 10 layers that we'll discuss in the further videos, but for now, let's discuss outer layer and inner layer. Outer layer is the pigmented layer, and inner layer is the neural layer. Do not confuse the two. Now, inner layer, the neural layer, it has rods and cones. So here you can see this is the retina, right? I've drawn it here in a magnified version. Let's start off with sclera. This is sclera, the outermost. Then you have choroid, middle. Then you have retina. Retina has outer, and this is the inner. So outer is a pigmented layer. Inner is the neural layer. Neural layer is the layer that contains rods and cones. And there's another fun fact that the neural layer it stops or it terminates midway, whereas the pigmented layer it continues until the back of the iris. That we'll discuss in complete detail further. But before that, let me just clear this. The rods and cones they convert electromagnetic waves into electrochemical energy. So they're also known as light receptors because they detect the light and are also known as or they're also transducers because they convert transducers are basically capable of converting one form of energy into the another. So retina or you can say rods and cones they convert electromagnetic waves to electrochemical energy. Now, yeah, retina has two layers, pigmented and neural layer. Now the pigmented layer it starts from optic disc and then it covers choroid and then it comes behind the ciliary body and then it also covers the iris. This is the pigmented layer. Whereas when you talk about the neural layer or the layer that contains the rods and cones, it terminates midway. And where does it terminate? It terminates in the region between the equator and between the corneoscleral junction. This is the corneoscleral junction. This is the equator. So between that midway, it terminates, and yeah, the point where neural layer terminates, that point has ora serrata. That point is called ora serrata. Here I've drawn that ora serrata, and this is a retina. So at the point of ora serrata, your neural layer terminates. In this diagram, you can see it much better. So ahead of this, you do not have the neural layer, but the pigmented layer, it still continues even behind the ciliary body and behind the iris. Right now, yeah. So here I was telling you that ora serrata is the region where your neural layer of the retina terminates. Other than that, um, yeah, very important point that the part or the point where your neural layer terminates, beyond that or ahead of that, the retina is no longer sensitive to light. It no longer detects light, or it no longer is photosensitive, right? So only if the light falls in this region, it can be seen or it can be detected. Ahead of this, where neural layer is no longer there, that region becomes that layer of that part of retina, it becomes insensitive to light. It doesn't detect it anymore. So yeah, now retina, they're saying that it is sandwiched between vitreous humor and choroid, and I'm sure you can already see that for yourself that this is choroid, this is retina in blue, and then that's your vitreous humor. So your retina is sandwiched between the two. And yeah, over here I've also said that the fun fact is the retina is the only part of the central nervous system that can be seen through the ophthalmoscope. Ophthalmoscope is this instrument which is used by a lot of ophthalmologists, to examine the eye, and with the help of this ophthalmoscope, you can see retina. So it's the only part of central nervous system that can be seen through ophthalmoscope. And now I'm sure the thing that's amusing you more is that how is retina the part of central nervous system? That's because retina, if you study from the embryological aspect, so if you discuss the embryological, or if you've studied the embryological aspect of this, so retina is derived from neural tube. Neural tube is basically the entire central nervous system, or it forms the entire central nervous system. So that's how we're saying that retina is a part of central nervous system. So it's the only part of central nervous system that can be seen through ophthalmoscope. That's the fun fact here. And yeah, I'm sure I've pretty much covered everything. Let's give a quick recap that I'll give with the help of these diagrams. You can see that's the eyelid. This is the pupil. The colored part is iris. We often see beautiful colors of eyes. That's basically the iris, all thanks to iris. Then you have the sclera, the white region. And anterior to this is your cornea, which is transparent. It cannot be seen here, but it's there. And its function is to focus the light. We already studied that in the paragraph, right? So this is a cross-sectional view. This is cornea. Then you have sclera. This is the outermost protective layer. Then you have the middle layer, which is nutritive or vascular in nature, and it has blood vessels. This is choroid. It contains choreo capillaries. Then it comes and forms. Then anteriorly you have ciliary body, and then you have iris. Then you have the innermost layer, which is retina, and retina outer and inner. Outer is the pigmented layer, and it continues. Here you will see it better because I've drawn this. So retina will pigmented layer. It starts from optic disc, covers choroid, ciliary body, and terminates up until the iris. Whereas the neural layer, which contains rods and cones. Rods and cones, they convert electromagnetic radiations to electrochemical energy, right? And they're also known as light receptors, and they function as transducers because they convert one form of energy to another. So yeah, that's the neural layer, and it terminates midway, and that point is known as ora serrata. Ahead of that, retina is no more sensitive to light. It's no longer sensitive to light. And yeah, this is vitreous humor. Here you have aqueous humor, and then lens are held in place by the suspensory ligaments, which attach to the ciliary body. Don't confuse yourself between ciliary body and suspensory ligament. I'm sure the amount of times I've repeated that ciliary body is part of your middle layer. So I'm sure you know that in that manner. And then what's left is the suspensory ligament that holds the lens in place. And lens, they focus light onto the retina. And yeah, this in this image you'll see aura serrata better. So that's it. I hope that you all learned something in today's video, and rest of the details will come in the next video.